Muppets from Space, by the way. That's the movie I was going to mention earlier.
Okay.
It's a great movie. Down here at the bottom left, though, what emotion would he have if he watched Muppets from Space, Wolf? He would be...
I am happy.
Okay.
Actually, maybe he wouldn't because...
You messed up your personal pronouns there.
Did I?
He would be,
Sorry.
I am happy. That doesn't make sense.
Well, here he is trying to create a Code S win for himself. He is.
Creator Prime.
He's at 1-1, so if Creator does get a win here, he will be in pretty solid shape.
Yep.
But it's going to be tough, man. Happy is a Zerg killer. He's a Zerg sniper. He doesn't lose to Zergs except July Zerg. And, but he's only kind of middle of the road against Protoss. His versus Protoss play is pretty good, but not as stellar as his versus Zerg, so we're going to have to see what he has in store for us.
Nexus first for Creator, what Supernova tried to punish him for before, and this time he is actually going to scout what his opponent is up to right away. It's a 2-player version of Antigua, where even though it's a 4-player map, it's forced cross spawns. So essentially, as soon as the spawns begin, it becomes a 2-player map. A lot of harassment here with this probe, but he will be chased away now. It is going to be a gasless expand.
You know what I just found out that I should have mentioned earlier, I forgot to mention earlier rather, is actually July Zerg and Happy played in the KSL Team League just recently, and July Zerg beat him then also, so maybe that's why he went for the 2 racks, is because he didn't feel comfortable playing a straight up game. Who knows?
Look at this. The bunker here is in a really nice position for Happy. He's actually pulling
a
ton of SCVs.
It is all-in day for Happy because he is going crazy, bringing a ton of SCVs to try and punish.
And with the positioning on this
Nexus
bunker, man, it's actually perhaps going to finish with the first SCV.
Oh, wow.
It will finish.
Oh, my goodness. The SCV is behind the bunker and gets trapped behind it where he can repair it.
Oh, my God. Look at this.
Oh my God, the SCV is invulnerable, can repair that bunker without any risk of anything happening. The SCV is blocked for the Marine. The Marine gets in the bunker. The Marine gets in the bunker.
And this is a great stroke of luck for Happy. I have never seen anything like this.
This is crazy. He's going to take out that pylon, definitely.
The SCV actually escaped. He actually sent the weakened SCV home, interestingly enough. The hero SCV is no longer behind the bunker.
And he's trying to take out these probes.
He's targeting the Zealot.
Needs to be careful. He's falling back to the bunker again. That Nexus is basically dead. There's nothing that Creator can do, I don't think,
So many hit points lost on the Zealots. With the first Stalker, if he can keep his opponent's vision away, he can start damaging the bunker from the high ground.
That's true. That's what I was thinking, is if he has that high ground advantage. But with that many SCVs, he can poke up to the high ground and check pretty easily.
I don't like his moving that Stalker so close to that bunker because one SCV will make him lose so many hit points. And look at this. It's going to happen right now.
There he goes. Vision
and even
repair.
Traps him.
Yep.
Happy looking so good right now, but as far as mining goes,
now it looks like
it's fairly even between these 2 players with the Mule income.
It looks like he's going to build a second bunker, and what the reason for that is he's just going to contain him from this point. He doesn't want the bunker in a place where he can be hit from the high ground, I believe. So he's probably just going to, I imagine, move the Marines over to that other one. He's actually making another bunker at that expansion as well. He's just going to go for a hard contain, salvage that one, send the SCVs home.
I really would have liked to see him. This is something nobody really does in StarCraft II. I would have liked to see him make a barracks and fly it. Sometimes on the ladder.
Oh, that would have been a really good point.
In Korea, people do this to me all the time where they, after they contain me, they make a barracks and just float it, so it's very difficult to even fire from the high ground. But now he's content to just lose his, or salvage his bunker that was close to the ramp anyways and just contain, like you said. Bit of miscontrol by Happy, not keeping his Marines there, but a miscontrol by Creator as well.
Oh, wow, loses a Stalker. That should not have happened.
Never should have happened. And Twilight Council going down and 2 additional gates. I think we may see a Blink Stalker play to follow this up.
Yep.
Could potentially be Dark Templar as well. Sometimes people do use DTs to break out these situations, but with 2 orbitals predicted back at home, I don't like the choice of DTs here if he goes for it. I don't think he will, though.
No, that would not be That would not be a good idea at all at this
With
point.
Blink, there's Blink. With Blink, he can actually not only circumvent the contain, but he can just be very mobile on the map against an army he knows will be Marine heavy and perhaps even purely Marine.
Yeah, this is interesting. We don't usually see Terran players do this quite this way in response to a Nexus First. This is this is kind of standard, well not standard, but very common in Brood War actually if they go Nexus First PvT. But we don't often see this, and I'm actually have been surprised in the past that we haven't seen this because look at how effective it's been. He's taken out the Nexus, he's gotten a big advantage.
Oh no, control by Creator!
No!
Losing one Stalker, maybe a second one!
Wow, in Creator's game against Boxer, he had impeccable control. His early Stalker harass was brilliant. He killed so many Marines, and here he is kind of doing the opposite.
Yeah, unfortunately in StarCraft II there is no singularity charge. Those Stalkers cannot outrange the bunker. Creator does have Blink finishing up now. His Stalker count has gone up to 8. He will be able to circumvent this. A scan goes off.
Oh, and he actually sees the Stalkers at the edge there. So
yeah, the Twilight Council.
Oh, he even just shows them the blink. I thought he was
he's like,
wait.
I just got to do it. I mean, there's nothing left to hide. Another bunker's already been made on the main base. They're happy anyways, expecting something like this.
Siege Tech is on the way as well.
I think what he's going to try to do here is get one Stalker up the ramp, then blink in the side, and abuse his opponent's immobility.
Does he have a... But he can't even get a probe out to get a forward pylon. He has to warp in units at his main.
He does. He's going
to walk them across.
He's probably going to blink one Stalker up the ramp, then follow suit and blink the rest of his Stalkers in. We'll see what he does. Here's actually going to target down the bunker. There he goes. There's a second bunker here. There's a siege tank out as well. I don't think this is going to work.
No, siege tech is not yet completed, but he's got so many SCVs. He's cornered him. He needs to get some of those Stalkers out of there. He's going to blink micro them out so he gets the most damage out of it. Nicely done. Now you can wait for the shields to recharge on those.
But still...
But he didn't do any damage, really.
I mean, he killed a few SCVs, but that's just not enough. It's 30 probes with 25 SCVs with 2 orbitals in the main base. Plus, with the siege tank production he's got, he won't be able to blink in again. He still has the contain to contend with at his natural, which he will be able to break now, but he may lose a Stalker or 2 in the process.
And siege tech is now completed as well, so it's going to be very hard to pressure Happy. Look at this, he even left a couple SCVs to repair those bunkers to make it even harder to deal with. He's actually not even... He's just going to have to force it down. There he goes.
Nice micro here, but he does take out the bunkers.
Wow.
Oh, almost losing a Stalker. Nice targeting by Happy on the bunker. Right now, let's give you guys some unit numbers, because this game is still far from over. We've seen crazier games in the past with Blink Stalkers where people underestimate the real power of Blink Stalkers. He can eliminate the siege tanks at any moment, or in some way gain vision of the high ground. He can do a lot more, but he's making a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, Dark Shrine.
That's so weird considering he saw the factory, and that means a Raven can be produced at any time as well. Combat shields are on the way, and Stim is nowhere. He has not even started it. If he attacks into this with these siege tanks in position...
Yeah, takes one shot, gets out of there. I'm not sure what he hopes to accomplish with the Dark Shrine. The only thing I can think of is this, is that when you're a Protoss and you're so far behind there's no way you can win, what do? You go DTs and hope that they don't do anything about it, you know? It's a way that Protoss can somehow get back into the game if your opponent doesn't defend it well enough. So it might be what he's thinking. He might be desperate. He's like, well, my Blink Stalkers didn't work. I got contained. I'm way behind. What could I do to maybe get back in this game? The only way I can win is if I get lucky with DTs. That might be what he's thinking.
Well, his forward pylon is way too late. He's just now starting it. His Dark Shrine is done, but he can't warp in DTs at a forward location. He didn't make his pylon. I see a lot of nervousness in Creator's play right now, and he's just not quite... His Blink Stalker execution was decent, but his DTs are going to be so late here. There's already a turret up. If he had gone when the Shrine was done, he might have been able to get one into the main, or perhaps target down a siege tank or 2, but now the DTs will instantly die, especially since them both at once. I'll have Shuttle Protoss tier, man.
There he goes. The Automaton 2000 sees it coming.
Okay,
so does Happy.
He does save one of his DTs at the very least. But his gamble has still been made. Hard to back out now. The supply for these two players is fairly even. Happy at 102, Creator at 95. The problem is Happy is building a super scary composition right now. His siege tank count is already at 5. He has 35 Marines. He's producing medevacs now for his Marines, which do have combat shields. He's got +1 on the way, as well as Stim, and Marauders are being added into the mix as well. It doesn't matter how much mobility he has with the Blink Stalkers. If this attack hits right now, I don't think Creator holds.
DT gets popped. And yeah, he's actually... Well, he's not going to wait for Stim, it seems. He's going to have +1 in just a moment here.
He's going to try his best to target down Marines and then Blink, but with the tank's range at the back, it's going to be so risky. If he loses any Stalkers, it won't be worth it.
Yeah, and he has to run, but he's running to his own doom because as soon as Happy gets within range, he can siege up, and then there's not going to be any way to unsiege him. There's not going to be any way to take him out.
He has charge, and he has an Archon, but I just don't think he has enough units. If the tanks siege up now...
Siege mode is, look at this, even sieging him in tiers. Beautiful play. Here comes the last defensive Creator. This is his last chance here.
And
he needs this win.
In, and the Stalker's actually doing a decent amount of damage. The Archon doing some damage at the front. Stalker's blinking around here, but the Marauders and the Marines may be too much.
Medevac's keeping him alive too long, and Creator is forced to fall back with the fire of those 2 siege tanks wailing away at him from behind.
On the Marines. +1 for Creator is not done, but he almost managed to hold here. Another wave of Zealots does come out. The Medevacs are out of energy. Are we going to see him go again? He's sitting in a DT. He may be able to target down the siege tank. He's going to actually go for Marines and combat shields. I don't like that, but either way, a scan does force splash damage to do damage to those Marines. Another DT coming in for defense here. He's going to have to scan one more time.
Yeah,
I like what he's doing here.
This is good. This is good that he's sending these DTs, forcing him to use scans, hoping he runs out of scans.
He's out right now, but he doesn't have any more DTs to warp in.
He's barely got the resources to warp in anything right now. He's given up on the DTs, warping in a few Zealots.
Well,
there's one more DT. I'm sorry, thought it was a Zealot.
For some reason, he's going in with the DT with the rest of his army right now. Actually has a DT targeting the tanks. He's running in, but the damage on the Marines is too much. There is a turret here as well, making the DT negligible, and it looks like Happy is going to take out the rest of these units now, targeting down the Stalkers before they can blink, many of them, and that is it.
GG! Happy saves himself from complete humiliation. He was at 0-2, but manages to get himself a win, putting him at 1-2 now, and Creator goes down to 1-2. From 1-1
to 2 Marine SCV all-ins of different variations.
Yeah. And, but I mean, Creator can't really... He has himself to blame, I think, by playing a risky move there. I mean, it was a risk worth taking, to be honest with you. I'm not blaming him for it, but going for Nexus first, it's always a risk.
It always is.
You're always risking the fact that your opponent is going to put pressure on you and punish you for that greedy move, and that's exactly what happened.
It was a split decision choice by Happy. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
He scouted early, and the second he saw the Nexus, he positioned his bunker in between a pylon and a wall and made it, and he was like...
Oh my god,
he's like, I think this will finish, but you know what? And he grabbed his SCVs at that moment. He didn't think about it before, he just did it right at that moment.
That bunker.
That bunker. We're going to have a 5-minute break, guys. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll have some of our final games here, so get excited. Tell your friends to tune in. This is the GSL Up and Down matches.